Welcome back, you guys. This is our fourth part of, we don't know how many parts of the Watch What Crappens and Reality Gays Holiday Spectacular Gay Crappens. You're here. If you're still invested after this many episodes, you're sick.
Yeah. Or you just need your family to leave you alone.
It's true. If you didn't notice, we are covering the acclaimed Lifetime holiday movie, Ladies of the 80's, A Diva's Christmas.
Yes.
Not a semicolon, a full colon.
Full colon.
Yes.
My name's Matt Maher, for some of you that are listening, and with me I have Ronnie Karam. Hey, hello, Ronnie. Hello.
Well, hello.
Ben Mandlecourt.
Mandlecourt. Yeah.
Mandlecourt.
Hi, everyone.
How do you pronounce your
Mandlecourt.
name, please?
That's
And
okay.
then-
It's what happens.
And then some bitch that just walked in, Jake Anthony,
I just
a.k.a. Poodle.
climbed out of a dumpster, so I'm here.
So
great
the
night,
story
actually.
here's the story so far, in case you're just joining us. Okay. There is a young man who is he's gonna lose his house, his car, his everything. If he's run out of chances in Hollywood, and he's got to make this production work, and if it doesn't, he has to go back to where he came from. And so he's the only rabbit he can pull out of his hat is to reunite the four women that he used to work with as a child to put on some fabulous soap opera reunion. And if this goes off without a hitch, he can keep his house. But the problem is their egos are so out of control, and they are such big divas that it's impossible to imagine that the show could ever go off, and they're going to need a Christmas miracle for it to work. That is the movie that this is supposed to be, but instead
I was gonna say I want to watch that movie.
this is a movie of four ladies arriving at a mansion and having a lovely time reuniting.
He kind of has a weird career as an actor, but this is his first time both writing and producing, it seems like.
Yeah.
And he hasn't acted in what apparently he says what he's done half his life, which must have been as a child, because he's maybe late 20s now. What do you think?
It's
maybe
actually
20?
It's been 5 years. It's been 5 years since he acted, because that's apparently when he was in school with the director, Nell, who
So it's been 5 years.
Success at Sundance.
He's late 20s. She's a very successful short filmmaker now in Sundance. And it does feel like you inflated the stakes, and that movie would have been great.
Would have been great.
Inflating the stakes.
Inflated
Where
we left off is
the cartoon stakes that were inflated.
The women are upset now.
The women are upset.
There's been a glimmer of ego.
Just quit.
We're picking up. They've all quit.
What would normally be the third act?
Yes, and like Poodle, we see
the movie.
Yes. Like Poodle's apartment, we see Lonnie Anderson sitting in front of a hat box having a conversation. A full-on hat box that no one ever uses.
I have to say, this has to be part of her collection.
She's got the hat. She's got the safari
She came from Safari. She came from Safari in Borneo, even though, Borneo's in Southeast Asia.
I do know that Jake, when he is a woman, or thinks he's a woman in her mid-60s, he will travel with a hat box.
Well, what else? Yeah. If you can't drive a bunch of boxes, strange. Also, I'm going to need several hats that I wear based on mood. So I'm going to need at least 2 to 3.
Oh, I didn't think it'd have hats in it. I thought I would just hold your poppers.
Well, that's true, and just lots of lube and
maybe a hat made of poppers. You can wear it to the royal ascot.
and you just pick one off, and you just
pick one off.
Where we left off, so Lonnie Anderson was just complaining to her old friend who's working at the Gay and Lesbian Center
That's
that she hasn't gotten an Emmy.
Yeah,
that she hasn't got an Emmy. And then we go over to Nicolette Sheridan, who's calling her son, who's still in the same suit, and saying that should we get a little insight on why she decided to change her mind? She decided that in the spirit of the holidays, she would let bygones be bygones, which feels a little flimsy, but that's what she did. And the son's like, well, did you tell her that?
This movie feels a little flimsy.
Everything's a little flimsy, okay? A lot of flimsy things happening. And Juliet's like, if she could leave me when I needed her the most, then how could I ever trust her with knowing that I'm letting bygones be bygones? I was so young. I was newly engaged. I should have been the happiest I ever was in my life. And you know what she did? She stole that from me by not taking my phone call.
I had to enter the year 2000 alone.
Without any warnings. What was to come?
So Donna is watching from her window because Nicolette's like, I'm going to leave. I shall talk to you right outside of my car door until I officially do leave, because I don't know how I would talk to you while I drive in a car in 2023. So Morgan is standing above her, like looking down from the window, like, I can't believe she's on the phone.
And then they do this weird. You tell the director was like, look, I've been wanting to do this shot forever. If you lean out the window, cameraman, and when she walks back through the window, you walk too. And it's like we're walking through the wall. It was such a weird camera shot in the midst. Like, you don't see this in Lifetime movies. And you could tell
a real auteur took the helm.
Took me out. That's what took me out of this, was that.
Yeah, really, that's really something. So was it like a drone thing? Or
Maybe.
Was it like one of the, I don't know. Because I remember one time I was like, oh my God, this is amazing that they just put a drone shot in a Real Housewives show. And people were messaging us like, you fucking moron. It's a drone, not a crane. I'm like, wow. They got a crane shot in Real Housewives. I didn't understand.
Don't you love it how listeners just don't suffer us at all? Like they'll basically said, you guys didn't know this, but it's blah blah blah. Go fuck yourselves.
Well, I think at some point it's just like listening. Like, to me, it's like listening to your dad. So you remember that thing? What was it? That show? You're trying to hint each other.
That's 100%. I always say our show is like the worst game of $25,000 pyramid ever, because he's saying an actress, and I'm like, oh, is it so and so? And he's like, no, the one who did this, and it's wrong. And somehow I get it, but it's just stressful.
I don't get it. And I keep telling Ben, stop setting me up to look stupid. Stop asking me questions. I don't just know the answer.
What's the name of that type of airplane that they had in the 20s? Like, fuck you, Ben. I'm like,
it's
a triplane, this is a uniplane. Biplane. So anyway, so Dana is eavesdropping in on Nicolette Sheridan, who's having this conversation, and by Dana I mean Donna. But the thing is that Donna's also talking to her daughter, her real life daughter Chloe, and apparently
her real life daughter
situation. Yes, and the daughter, she sighs, and the daughter is like, I know that sigh. You both are too proud to have a real heart to heart. And then Donna Mills is like,
really? Does she have a too proud to sigh heart to heart? I've never really heard of that specific sigh.
Great show. I wish I would have been on it.
Yeah, she's like, the daughter's like, oh, sorry. I know it still stings 40 years later that you didn't get to be on heart to heart.
Oh, God. I'm sorry I stepped on the heart-to-heart joke. I mean, what the hell am I even thinking?
It wasn't our joke. It was the show's joke.
But still, they made an effort. I just stepped all over it.
I got it, but it's mostly that joke would have fit with women in their 50s and above.
Girl, I didn't even get that joke, and I'm gay. I'm so gay. I'm so ready for this movie, and I was like, a heart-to-heart joke? Come on.
Stephanie
I actually
Powers?
appreciated it.
Stephanie Powers?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It did Heart to Heart just come to streaming? Oh, wait, no. It's the one where they're moonlighting with Bruce Willis, I think.
Oh, God.
I think I've only seen Heart to Heart
There was
once.
a show.
Was it?
There was a show.
There was a show. That was
no
odd.
Scarecrow and Mrs. King. So
Oh, my
God.
Okay.
He was part
of my sexual awakening.
I only saw the show once. I just think it's
My
a funny
mother
name for
loved that show.
Who played Scarecrow, Mrs. King? Who was it? Kate.
He was his name.
I'm doing the
she
thing
was
now.
Charlie's Angel.
Jeremy
Kate
Irons.
Kate Jackson.
Kate Jackson. Loved her.
But I can't remember the guy's name. It was
Who's Mr. King?
Anthony Hopkins.
Bruce Boy. God, you guys, I'm getting
Bruce
gayer even
Boxleitner.
talking
Bruce
to you. I
Boxleitner.
just said Bruce Boxleitner. Come on, Ronnie. Like, you guys are literally
Ryan
giving
Philippe.
my tongue more girth just from talking to you guys.
Wow.
It was Bruce Boxleitner and John Eric Hexum from Voyagers that were also part of my sexual awakening. who he died.
Oh wow! So either way,
well,
so
go back to sleep. Go back
so
to sleep.
Donna Mills.
Awakening of sex.
Donna Mills apparently has some real trauma about Heart to Heart, but it's okay because if she had gotten that role, she never would have been able to work with the Aarons, Spelling and Sorkin. So
again, a joke that I think
it's like inside baseball at a baseball game no one's watching. You know?
Yes. Yes.
It's like it's a minor league baseball game.
It's like, yeah, it is like they wanted to. Not only did they want to market this movie to the gay men, but they also wanted to market it to the Beverly Hills Kiwanis Club.
Yeah,
like just
and Robert
so
Wagner.
inside.
Robert Wagner was the male in Heart to Heart.
Right.
Stephanie
Like,
Powers.
and I got so mad, I drove away in a teeny tiny little car wearing a fez hat.
So the daughter is like, she's like, Mom, you have to stop Juliet before she leaves because you might not get this opportunity to ever apologize to her or clear the air with her ever again in your life.
Why is
Mom,
the
you
mom?
ladies
Why is
are
the daughter
taking
so
minute by
invested?
minute.
And she goes out the window and stares. Meanwhile, someone's in a spa and doesn't know how to turn it on. That's what I've decided is that Linda Gray went down to take it. And she's like, how do these buttons work? But thank God she never got the spa going because
What are you talking about? She's eating a 5-pack from Wiener Schnitzel in there. She's not using a steamer. She's not doing a steamer. She's just eating her fast food in the corner. So there's like the sad piano music.
Licking Crisco from her fingers. Just
Yeah.
at
So
it.
Alex and Nell are talking, and Alex is distraught because it's like everything has turned into a huge fiasco, and
This could
Nell
end
is
my
like,
writing and producing career as an ex-child actor.
that has
Voice
never
even
really
started.
yes, and Nell's like, oh no, but this is your baby. You're the one who convinced the network to film the special. Oh,
something we don't
no.
know. Something we don't know, and it might have been good to know that.
And he's like, well, it's so easy to talk to you. I forgot how easy it was. She goes, well, you could have called me, but you ghosted me, and I didn't have your phone number or any social media handles.
He just said how easy it was to talk to you, and you're going to come at him. That's like you're ruining it.
but they had to explain why she never found out his mom died.
Right.
He's not on
And-
social media. She didn't have it.
Yeah.
So Alex is like, so they're getting a text from the publicist being like,
Wait,
oh my
did
God.
he say that?
what's-
I think I just made that up. Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
No, he
Well,
did.
the
He did.
publicist
He did say
texting
it.
being like, what's going on? What's going on? And he's like, okay, you know what? Nell, I owe you an explanation about why I ghosted you, but now is not the time. And then Nell's like, you're right. Because all I know is that you are not letting the ladies of the 80s down. And yes, I am going to refer to them as that. And if anything, they're letting you down, mister. So arguing about a fight that happened a million years ago, can you believe they would be doing that?
But they're
then-
still having a problem with things that went down 6 years ago, and they won't talk about it.
It's layers.
By the way,
Layers.
guess who's about to have a heart attack if that is really turned on? Linda, because Linda's listening to all this from the steam room. Now, who the fuck is just standing in front of the steam room having a conversation?
Not making a sound.
Me, because my sinuses hurt and I don't want to have somebody suck my dick.
And who's, again,
only Matt's there unclogging his sinuses with
Yes.
someone's dick.
But also remember who said, okay, hey, I'm coming to this set to film a show. Oh no, we're all angry at each other. Let me disrobe and take a steam in the middle of the set. We figured this all out. Okay. Great.
Nicolette's still up by her car, like, I am quitting. Get in your car, Nicolette.
She's just smoking.
So this
Linda
is where they're
calls them
trying
all together. Yes.
Yeah, because they tried to create this is where they tried to create a stakes, which is like, what do I do? Cancel the photo shoot? Tell the network that this isn't going to happen? What are we going to do?
There's only one person who works in Hollywood publicity television in this entire city. What are we going to disappoint him?
We can't let Alex's career down. We can't. We can't let his career fail.
But there's this
Yes.
also this weird confluence that one of them also says these two belong together. So not only do we have, this is where I get confused. Not only do we have to make the movie, but we also have to forcibly bring these two together, whether they want to or not.
Yeah.
You know, I know we've had 20 plus years of tension and issues, and I may have slept with your husband or fiance. We'll get to
that.
But I think what's most important is there are two young people here who are decently attractive. So let's try to get them together.
They need to fuck.
So then Linda goes into the steam room. So Linda's in the steam room. So Morgan's talking to her, and Linda's like, oh my God, you won't believe what I just heard. I just heard Alex. He's very upset because we're going to ruin his movie. Linda, you didn't fucking know that before you went to the steam room? What do you think happens? This is an economy, Linda.
Yes.
I know.
It is the rental home.
Oh, Jesus.
So she's like, I've been thinking. And then, of course, Lonnie's like, ladies, I think we're about to be roped into something, which was the name of my one-woman play that did not receive a Tony
Roped
nomination.
into something.
Linda's got on her puppies aren't meat face. What is it, Linda? And Donna's like, I'm still paying for that rescue of baby elephants from the circus mission that we did. God, how many years ago?
But it ended because they all have charities, and it's going to come back in the weirdest fucking way ever.
But I just want to say that the circus elephant rescue mission already has higher stakes than this movie.
Yes.
I was like, now there's a plot I could get behind. 5 ladies of the 80s rescuing baby elephants from circus.
Love it.
I literally saw a movie there's a movie called Operation Dumbo Drop with like Bill Murray and I think Linda Fiorentino, in fact.
Oh boy, that career. I loved her, and that career went nowhere. She was like Men in Black and then Operation Dumbo Drop.
Listen, she's an Oscar nominee.
Dumbo movies have really killed a lot of careers.
Was she nominated for Last Seduction?
Oh, yeah.
No, she famously wasn't because it was released on HBO before theaters. But actually, she was, I think, nominated in the 80s for a Martin Scorsese movie. Her career was actually significant.
It's one of my Fiorentino.
I will not hear the slander.
No, I wasn't. I didn't know anything after like Men in Black.
Well, apparently you didn't. Apparently.
But I'm a big. Last Seduction is one of my favorite movies. So
actually, Jake's not wrong. Let's see. Movies: The Last Seduction, Men in Black, Jade. Oh my God, remember Jade?
With David Caruso.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way,
when
Linda
they were like,
Fiorentino
we're making David Caruso sexy, and everyone's like, oh my God, I can't. A naked ginger's butt. No.
I just want to say that Operation Dumbo Drop. Linda Fiorentino is not in that movie. In fact, there appears to be no woman in the movie. I'm looking at the cast; it's all men. It's like Danny Glover, Ray Liotta, Dennis Leary, Dougie Doug, and Corin Nemec, who's Parker Lewis can't lose.
Parker Lewis can't lose. Yeah.
God, Linda Fiorentino's done a lot. Okay, guys, here's the point. We're watching a movie on Lifetime right now. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So the ladies decide that they're going to do this because young people who are both semi-blonde and hot need help fucking each other or something.
And they're actors. They're like, we're actresses. We can just act like we like one another.
It'll be our greatest acting challenge.
And that's where we get our love letters reference from Lonnie Anderson, which was funny.
It'll be our greatest acting challenge. Pretending to really like each other instead of just most of us actually really liking each other.
Yeah.
Instead of actually pretending we have some backstory that the movie never gave us.
Going from having no tension to having a little bit less of no tension.
Yeah. Remember that part where we just all quit for no reason? Let's just all join. Let's all unquit for no reason.
Unquit. Let's go back.
It's a great silent unquitting. So then Lonnie's like, once I faked chemistry in a production of Love Letters with Rodney Dangerfield. I just had to give that line the proper credit because, wow. Okay, so then Alex is still on hold with whoever he's been calling. And Mel's like, you won't believe what the ladies are doing. I just went back to the steam room for no reason. God, I love it down there.
So we're in the production office because if you weren't clear, someone just printed the words production office and put a bow on it.
Put a bow on
the wall.
That was actually accurate because that's how production offices look.
That's how they look.
They do that. They print it out in that font and they put it on there.
But that was
what people don't realize it was the actual production office of the real. Well, because it was the real production office of the movie.
Real production office.
Yeah, because weren't they in an actual house? But then now they're in an office, right? This wasn't like a home office. Didn't it have a clear glass window in it?
I thought the production office is his office.
I thought it was an office in the house.
Oh, I thought it was an office in an actual.
I thought that was
no, it's an office. It's supposed to be an office in the house.
That was the office he was writing shirtless in.
Yes.
They were all in this house because it was like the apocalypse was happening outside the house.
That's what I thought, but then I thought his...
It's the only place that exists in the world. Like Alec Mapa and everybody else, they're like in a special other where everyone's safe.
This is the Bird Box prequel. So then Nell is like, "You're not going to believe what the ladies are doing," and he goes, "Quintuple homicide." I was like, "Well, now that would be an interesting twist."
Yes, I enjoyed that part of it.
Finally, you're pitching. So then the ladies are coming down and there's like electric guitars playing. It's like, na 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 na. Coming back.
It's the montage, y'all. It's coming.
Yeah, they're all getting along, and they're getting along so well that Alex and Nell don't even realize they've started to hold hands. The power of 5 ladies from the 80s.
Oh my God,
I said the
together.
Power of 5 women, former aging soap stars getting into hair and makeup brought these 2 people into holding hands. I mean,
really
they kind of look at it and they're like, "Oh my God, we are."
If all these women walked in the room, I probably would grab one of your hands just in gay gasp.
That's true. But we're
I like that they were all
getting.
They were all holding hand. They were all doing this photo shoot, and we're getting the electric guitars playing. And the only one who had a wind machine on her was Nicolette Sheridan. I was like, you can try to make Nicolette Sheridan nice all you want.
She brought her fan from home, and the others didn't. She was like, "Sorry, ladies."
You know that she insisted on having someone. They're like, we don't have the budget for a wind machine. Someone is standing there with a blow dryer just on Nicolette.
It was Scott Evans. They're like, "Scott, can you do us a favor? Get all this blow dryer."
I got it.
So this is where we get that montage that's absolutely amazing. We're the ladies.
This was the best thing in the movie.
The woman's voice does give it a lesbian feel, though, like someone who sang like Black Velvet or like just our ladies. It feels very
Wasn't
rock.
this supposed to be Tiffany? But it didn't sound like Tiffany. I think
Sound like Carrie Underwood. Listen, they were sexy when they walk, sassy when they talk. Okay, and they're younger than they've ever been.
Minute by minute. What I was confused about here is right after that he says, "I have to rewrite the script."
It is. I'm sorry. Stop, everybody. Jake, I'm interrupting you for the 9,000th time because I have very important news for you guys. It was Tiffany singing the theme song.
Was?
I feel like this is the best I've heard Tiffany sound.
I saw that
Tiffany did country. Sounded like country, right?
Kind of, it's like a rockabilly, yeah.
It was written by Steve Dorff and Michael J. and is performed by 80s pop singer
Like
Tiffany. I'm dead.
I saw that in the press release.
Wow.
Wait a second. Are you saying
this
Steven
is
Dorff?
just Steve Dorff.
Dorff.
Yeah.
Because there was one
off
time
the
in my
last
life
for
where I
savings.
was wedged between Tiffany and Steven Dorff.
Oh
No,
wow,
there's not.
that's called
Stop it.
synchronicity.
That's
So for a
synchronicity.
moment, I was like, "This something weird's happening." I got really panicked there. Okay,
Well,
go
don't
on.
just stop.
No,
Go on. When were you stuck between
Thank you,
Steven
Ronnie.
Dorff
I
and
need to
Tiffany?
hear
What
more.
the fuck? Am I supposed to just go
Did-
make this
did
shit?
Steven Dorff
I
attractive?
managed.
Did
Okay,
Steven Dorff
everyone.
smell like cigarettes?
Okay, we'll be back
Probably.
for a part 5 of Ben talking. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Ben.
No, I managed to get myself into the Playboy 50th anniversary party at the Playboy Mansion.
That tracks.
And so it was
you
like
love
every
Playboy
B-list.
so much.
I was like, I want to go to some place where I'll be very sexually aroused. And so
Constant masturbation over there, Ben. Constant.
and so there was like tons of these like random celebrities, all sorts of B-list celebrities, but then random people like Gloria Allred and Jesse Jackson was there and Anna Nicole Smith. Gloria Allred was there. It was so confusing.
She's just walking up to people.
Talking to Jesse Jackson. They have a lot
have
to
you
talk
been
about.
mistreated? Anybody here been mistreated?
Just
This
giving
was
out
gotta
a
be. This
card.
was like 2002, maybe.
Yeah.
maybe 3. And it was. It was crazy. I mean, this Anna Nicole Smith was alive at this time. I remember seeing her there.
The
and
Dalai
I went-
Lama.
Yeah, and I remember going to the bar and there was like this crush of people, and I remember being crushed literally between Steven Dorff and Tiffany. So when you said like it was Tiffany as written by Steven Dorff or Steve Dorff, I was like, I cannot believe like
That would have
maybe it was,
been
like a fated
such a moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were
Well,
meant
I mean,
to
if you were between Tiffany and Steve Dorff, you could have been like, "What the fuck was up with this Ladies of the 80s movie?" Would have been a more interesting conversation.
They like met because they're like, who is that gay that got stuck between us? Hey, what's your number? And then they fall in love.
That's how it happened.
Okay, so now everybody's decided to do this movie, and I put the next scene as Alex skipping leg day again to write shirtless in his boxers. So
we have this whole montage, and during this montage, we've talked a lot about the song, but the things that they're doing is that they are, because this is the photo shoot that they're doing, so they're decorating the tree, and they are making gingerbread cookies together. And then Nell and Alex are sitting from director's chairs watching, but like also shoving cinnamon buns in each other's faces.
Yeah, they're canoodling.
Yeah.
I like that they don't have an art department and they actually have to make the props. So,
that's true.
That's happening.
They're actually all sat out in the kitchen drying.
This wasn't like fake art direction. Like, no, this was for the actual movie they're filming now.
And there's like a lot of like this very simple. There's a lot of this like their backs are to the camera, and one by one they turn around holding like a stocking.
Yes,
it's a lot of that kind of choreo. And then as Ronnie was saying about the leg day thing, it sort of like settles in on like that they have to like he's decided he needs to like rewrite the script to reflect the good mood in the cast.
That they get along now, which
it doesn't make sense because you're supposed to be writing to the characters and not to the actresses.
Yes,
they're really getting along. I'm going to change this whole film to where they're getting along. What is that? That doesn't happen. You know what? Bruce Willis is totally fine with terrorism now. Let's just rewrite Die Hard to where
or
Holiday Party.
How about we treat them as actresses so they can actually act and do a script? Who cares that they get along? The concept of acting is bizarre. To do your fucking job.
But also just this whole scene, okay, it's like the middle of the movie. Literally nothing has happened that makes any sense. And then the screenwriter, who's writing it as he goes along, decides to write plots. What are you talking about? You shoot a live thing and you go live in 2 minutes.
Yeah. And also, why are you in your underwear now? I don't mind it.
Well,
I was like, oh, he had like a surprisingly really good body, but he's like in a production office, which is in the same house as far as
the ladies
my
are back together. I'm taking off my pants.
I thought he was
all his clothes.
I thought he was naked for a while.
He's just typing in his underwear.
We were gonna have a whole scene where she came in and he was holding a laptop in front of his privates. And that would have been like a thing where they went back and forth about. And guess what? That never happened.
Like American Graffiti, but with the pie. Or not
American Pie. Those were two different movies.
Pie with the pie, yeah.
By the way,
they walk in on Ron Howard naked with a pie on his crotch.
It's going to be a bad script. First of all, any writer that has a body like that is not going to write a good script.
Thank you.
Okay, first of all, let's just
you need to be schlubby.
You need to not have abs, okay?
Justice for the slubs.
So he's trying to rewrite this scene, and then we're imagining his version of it, and so we see Margot. We're seeing like versions of the soap opera scene in his head.
I like this meta approach, but it just never paid off the way I thought it would.
We should have seen more of it.
Also, didn't they only do it twice? So if you're going to do something like this, do it in 3 at least.
Don't even try to apply 3s or 5s to this. I don't think they had time. For more than 2 times.
I love too that he's like, okay, here's what the plots could be. Maybe it's that one has an evil twin. No. Maybe it's that one has amnesia. No. Literally, those are all better than anything that happens. Go with one of those, and this would have still been a good movie. But no. So then we go to Morgan checking her phone, or I don't know, someone can't sleep and they're checking their phone. So it's time to go down to the kitchen and get a snack. And then everyone's like, oh my God, you're in the kitchen too? I'm in the kitchen. You're in the kitchen too? That's like, half the movie is them walking into a room being shot.
And then it becomes...
Reveal that you're a Golden Girls writer without revealing you're a Golden Girls writer. People slowly filing into the kitchen late at night. Okay,
wow.
So basically...
He just whips out his biggest... This is my biggest trick. Here we are.
I know. So Margot goes downstairs, and Lily's there, and Lily has decided to make late night mulled cider because why not?
This would destroy my acid reflux.
Also, by the way, why are they sleeping on their set? Why are they sleeping on their set?
So they're in full beat, by the way. That's a joke that I don't know if anybody else got. later on where someone said, "We just woke up. Can't you tell?" And they're all like in heavy makeup. And I'm like, is this too meta of a joke? But I thought it was funny. But I realized I don't think it was a joke. I thought it was funny.
They had their bedhead wigs on.
Yeah.
So basically, Lonnie Anderson is down there with some mulled cider. Like, that's not just something you just like go downstairs and make. Like, that takes some time.
No, it's got to sit there for like 30 minutes.
She's been there for a while thinking about all her Emmy losses.
I can't. That stuff. No, I don't want hot wine.
Also, by the way, okay. Also, how are you surprised by mulled wine? How do you walk downstairs and be like, oh, I didn't realize you were here? Like, it's mulled wine. You smell it all throughout the entire house.
That is true.
Don't you think there's someone downstairs making mulled wine?
Yeah.
It smells like someone puked with cinnamon in it.
So the ladies gather. Nicolette comes down too, and so they're talking about, oh my God, don't you miss swapping stories over craft services, guys? And then they talk about how they used to be able to eat whatever they wanted without gaining weight, which is a bunch of bullshit, okay? I don't know whoever has lived in LA and just been like, oh my God, remember that time when we just ate whatever we want? No. Nobody has done that and been.
You have a diet at age 12.
Yeah.
There was also like an attempt to give Morgan Fairchild's character like some backstory or some personality, because she's like, I always make sure to wake my kids up with the smell of their favorite traditional English fruitcake wafting through the house, just like my mom made for me. So I thought Alex and Nell would like it too, because I guess she's gonna make fruitcake now.
But
it's dropped. We never hear anything else about it.
No, it comes back again at the end.
It does come back, yeah.
But also, why? Because she speaks in a completely American accent. There's no need. There's nothing that comes from this.
I think it maybe her parents were English, so I think that's
Morgan
what I
Fairchild is actually British. Her parents are actually British. Yeah. So it's like they wanted to bring that in.
Morgan Fairchild was like, I'd like to include
this. This is improvised. Morgan Fairchild's like, growing up as a child in London, I remember the horses and the muffins that my mother would make in the morning.
But it makes no sense. Like, I'm just looking.
Clip, clop on the cobblestone streets.
She actually grew up in Dallas. She's from Dallas, fucking Texas. Why would they even do this? This makes no sense.
No, this is Morgan Fairchild. This is her. This is the actress saying, I'm sorry. Before we do the rest of the scene, I was just wondering, I would love to add a detail. I don't know, English food
about my childhood.
Is what I'm seeing. Why do we add that into the script?
Nicolette Sheridan's like, I smell gingerbread cookies. Get me a fucking blow dryer over here right now. So anyway, girls, let me tell you why I've been mad this whole time at Donna, because she never returned my call. I'm like, that's it.
That's it.
Literally, that's it. She never returned her call. I would have no friends left.
Yeah.
It's so confusing.
Because they're all getting drunk, right? Because she tells it because they get her drunk. So there's like a drinking montage, right? And then she says this whole thing about like, she starts saying like, oh yeah, like back in the day, I was a bit of a party girl, and
Studio 54, more like the Limelight. So she was a club kid. She knew Michael Alec.
And she was like, that's a little bit before my time. The rest of the cast was like, bitch.
I went to the Limelight and an arena, the other club kid places.
I used to go
James
to Splash.
St. James.
Didn't we have an arena in West Hollywood?
Yes, not the Gay and Lesbian Center now.
That was for the Twinks. Yeah,
God, we just got back to that Gay and Lesbian Center.
They literally
everything goes back to it.
They converted it into the Gay and Lesbian Center.
I never went to Twink stuff because even when I went Twink stuff,
you were too old.
Even when I was a twink, I think I just had not a twink face.
I don't think you were ever a twink.
I was never. I hit 40 at like 7 years old, and I've stayed there.
I'm glad. I don't think I would have wanted to be a twink.
I was a twink before I had hair on my face, but I was always an 88-year-old woman inside. So it was only on the outside.
So Juliet says that like after being ghosted, she was a club girl, but after being ghosted, like the way like she dealt with it was just pouring her energy into work, and she just would work and work and work. But there was always something missing. But no one wants to hear this. I was hoping to keep it private, especially from the blonde who shall remain nameless.
The blonde. There's like 3 other blondes.
I know which
Could
one.
you be more specific?
Which one is not specific enough?
And
They
Jillian.
really needed a redhead in here.
She's like, the one with privilege.
And Margaret could have done this. And Margaret would have been great here.
Oh, you know what? I think.
I think you could literally say that in any movie and it would work.
And Margaret would have been great here. Yeah.
How about the mom from Elf?
And Margaret would have been great.
Oh, the mom from
I would
Elf.
agree with you on everything. On every single point.
Not Willie from Alp, because I think he got like arrested for like child molestation or something.
Well, he's also no longer with us. But yeah, Willie from Alf had like an actual crack issue. Yeah.
Alf, what are you doing?
Yeah, let's leave Alf alone. Yeah, let's. I feel like.
Hey, what if Alf were in this? He's like, I'm a lady from the 80's.
He's like, anybody want some old cats? Didn't he eat cats? Wasn't that Alf's
Yeah,
thing?
that was
Yes.
a
Weird show. Okay, back to this.
Give the old
guys.
Alfer a hug.
So Donna is like pretending that she just heard something fucking scandalous, and they called her a blonde lady. So welcome to 2023. So she's like, well, I heard you in my room where the vent goes up. So would you mind if I film this and post this to my story?
because
I don't know
of
who
social
plugged
media.
Donna in, but she's very animated from this point on.
Yeah.
Very animated. And then we just hear someone singing "Oh Christmas Tree" in the distance.
Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. And
Yes.
like slamming
And
walnuts
she's
down.
And it's Nell in a different room. Nell doesn't seem to realize there's 4 other women awake right now in
This
the kitchen.
tracks with your theory, Ben, that if this is actually a continuation of the story of Nell, she would want to like beat walnuts open like she did in the wood to eat.
There you go.
Progressing.
Yes.
Yeah, so now for whatever reason, Nell is furious.
Why is she angry or sad? I was
She's
so
mad about it.
confused.
Well, because
I
she's
don't
like,
know.
I went from Sundance to this. And so she's...
But
so
she's gonna
cracking
get paid
walnuts.
regardless.
Also, isn't she cracking the walnuts incorrectly? Aren't you supposed to put the walnuts in the mouth of the nutcracker?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, she
That's
was
the way it's
smashing
supposed
them
to be
with
done.
the bottom of the net.
So this doesn't speak well for her directorial
No.
skills.
No.
So she's banging the walnuts, totally unaware that there's 4 women in the next room over gossiping over mulled wine. And so the women all come in, and she's like, "Oh, did I wake you?" And Margot's like, "No, did it look like you just woke us up? bitch?"
just woke up? No, because
Yeah.
you're all
Sauced on mulled
yeah.
wine.
So she's like, I'm going to make a story of this for the social media. People will love it. And they're like, are those real friends or are those just computer friends? Oh,
Computer friends. Now, what is interesting too, like the plot line, this happens a couple of times where they're like, they sit down and they say, "This is about Alex, isn't it?" And Donna says, and she's like, "How did you know?" And then Donna says, "Something about how you cracked that nut,"
Like a maniac.
which felt like a gay pun of semen joke, but sure,
Something
whatever.
about how you crack that nut. Well, the other thing about this is they just assume this isn't career related, that it's all about a boy.
all about a boy.
Right.
And it's just not, it's like she's now being reduced to how she figures into his world. And they're like,
she's like the manic pixie dream girl, except she's sort of
Yes!
just like the blase pixie whatever girl.
And they start to yes, and they start to talk about it, and you think, okay, are we going to get like in this movie like a little bit of like character vulnerability, a little bit, and no, because Morgan just says, "We don't have time for this. You two need to be together," and that's that, and that's kind of how we just
affairs
Right.
of the
Sort
heart
that
can
up.
be quite complicated.
Yeah.
She's like, well, here's the story between me and him. We made movies together. We became inseparable. Then he kissed me. And ain't that all a girl wants, really? And then we kissed Romeo and Juliet style. And the next day, he dropped out of college, quit acting, and texted me. He's sorry. And that's it. Let's just say the kiss was better for me than... You know, Romeo and Juliet ends with them both
They
dead
died.
after
Yeah.
they make out, right?
And-
So what were you expecting? Did you finish your degree in theater?
Again, you
I don't
you,
think he did.
you delivered that so much better than she
You did
did.
that really well, Ronnie. That was really
It's
good.
just like this lady. It's like, I'm a lady.
Y'all,
All I really
we're-
care about is a man. I went to Sundance. Now I'm trying to sell cinnamon buns. And every day I just think, what is that chicken-legged man doing with his life?
What's a Romeo and Juliet kiss? Is that tongue?
No, Romeo and Juliet, they just did a little tap.
I think it's tinged with poison. Because, and she just,
Yeah.
Well,
she's like,
so then
you
Oh,
left
that's
none for me,
true.
Romeo. You left none for me.
That's true. And honestly, it is difficult to get through Romeo and Juliet. Not going to lie. That shit is
I can
boring.
only watch the Baz Luhrmann.
Morgan's like, honey, that's not how l'amour works. You don't get to choose who you fall for. And then, of course, Nicolette Sheridan's like, listen to her. She's had 5 husbands. So then Linda's like, listen, we all know Alex. He likes you. He's a little closed. Some would even
Little
say
closed.
closeted. But when men are closed, they need a little nudge, okay? So, like, it's time to get past the friend zone. So now, then, of course, they're like, ladies, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, my career's in the shitter. I can't believe I'm doing this. But also about the two of them. Not really. They're both boring and bland, and I can't wait to get them out of my face.
If you want to
All right, I'll
book
just
a
say
man, if you want to get a man nailed down, here's what you need. You need determination. And then Nicole's like, you need integrity. And Linda's like, you need vitality. It's like, you need none of these things. Okay.
And
Here's what you need.
you need to change every single thing about yourself, Grease style, because
And you need
that's
aspiration.
how you get a man.
You change,
You change
your physical
everything.
appearance.
You change your entire appearance for him,
Be sexy.
and that's how you get him.
That's all the
So
man
now-
wants is a sexier woman.
That's the message of the film.
And
Right
so now,
there.
after they've all stood up for different adjectives, then we go, it's like the next day, and Alex is still shirtless. He's still in his boxers, and he's
Thank
still pacing
God.
around. I know, still trying to
Thank
figure things
God,
out.
his beautiful chest,
Beautiful.
and his clavicle.
So
Yes.
he is in it.
Clavicle.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
you guys, who are these people?
They're the lady of the 80s.
Can-
So now we
actually,
get another
Ronnie,
musical
can you-
montage.
what do you think that cover would be like if Patti LuPone sang it?
The ladies of the 80s are taking oaths and walking in the wild. The ladies from the 80s.
So Alex is in his underwear in a room in this set, and he's like, he texts or calls, and he's like, "Hey Ned, I'm in my office writing. Can you come and find me when you have a minute? I'm in my underwear, don't you worry." And in the
Fucking
meantime,
weird. This
Yeah, it's
is such an HR thing. You're right.
put on your sweats. Put on your sweats.
Take
so
them
each-
off. Show us your dick, skinny legs.
So then the
Thank
divas
you.
all stand in a line because it's time for a makeover. So when it's time for a makeover,
Not just
if
a
y'all have-
physical one, a personality makeover too.
They do a
it was
shot
diva eye
of,
for the straight guy.
of all their shoes, and then you just see her Converse, and you're like, Tom.
Yo,
I'm
it's like My
no.
Fair
Like-
Lady, where all of these ladies teach her how to be a real lady
Yeah,
for the
this
man.
is
Like,
can't hardly
like-
wait, but 40 years earlier.
Yes.
I literally can't hardly wait because chicken. Okay, I'm living minute to minute here. I don't know if you
like-
listen to the lyrics of this song, but I can be over any second.
But also, you guys are on a production schedule. What are you guys doing right now? So
Right,
they
you
all
should be learning your lines.
Yeah. So then they're like, okay. So so Lonnie Anderson's like, okay, you have to give it more of an effort. And since we're on the slopes of Aspen, you can start by getting rid of that ski cap, because they're like, oh, the ski cap is a problem. But here's the thing. She has not always been wearing the ski cap. It's not like she wears the ski cap in every scene,
no.
and it's awful.
Worn it twice.
She's actually, worn it twice. Like, oh, I'm so glad you put the ski cap on, because we need to take it off of you. That part of the makeover is now done.
And then we have
see
to
Linda
give her a
teaching
blonde.
yoga.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's good. Go ahead, Bronny.
Linda's like, oh, you need to learn yoga to keep a man. No, you fucking don't. Where is this coming from?
You have to
And
get
she's like, I can't
bendy.
do yoga.
What?
Blonde
So-
what?
You have to get. She has to become a real blonde because the purple hair is way too
Right.
edgy.
Yes.
for our red-blooded Australian.
That's too alternative.
blonde.
Uncut that purple.
And you have to talk better. Morgan Fairchild's going to teach you how to talk better because girls need to talk
enunciate.
better.
And
Enunciate.
Henry Higgins you.
And even though you have a film at Sundance, you can't write. So I'm going to give you a journalist, Nicolette Sheridan, to teach you to write descriptively.
Write a passage. This
That
wasn't
was
good.
my
Write
favorite.
another passage. Okay, you write the second passage better.
Of all of them, that was the best. Nicolette
Yeah.
Sheridan being like,
It was
This
like she
is
was
how you
posh
write.
Spice, and they didn't know what to do with her at a Spice
Darling,
Girls concert.
a writer writes. A writer writes.
what the hell was that? Someone hand Nicolette Sheridan some paper and a pen. That's her talent.
Yeah, that's her
writing in
talent.
a journal.
Yeah.
I would have imagined this if this would have been like a mousy girl with horn rimmed glasses. She
Right.
was the one,
The classic.
and frumpy. But I don't think she needed a lot of makeovering, and I don't think they really
She
did
didn't
a
get
lot.
much of a makeover.
I know.
There wasn't
do much.
time. They were stuck in a mansion. I'm surprised that like her makeover wasn't gingerbread cookies in her hair because
They-
they were running out of resources.
They
Why
flipped
didn't they
her
make her
hair
look
to a
like
side
her?
part. They put her hair to a side part, and they just put more blush on her and lip color, and then darkened her eyebrows, and that's it.
And then
that's it.
suddenly he sees her and falls fucking.
I mean,
in
that
love.
pantsuit was cute. I would
He
wear
finally
the
put
fuck
on
out
a
of that pantsuit.
Wait, by the way, I just want to say this also. During this montage, while this is all happening, it keeps cutting to him being like, Nell, where are you?
I'm
Where
in my
is she?"
I'm in my
I'm like,
underwear. We should
Walk
have a
out your
meeting.
fucking door. Walk out. You're in the same house. Walk out the door. You can hear everyone outside there. Go.
Might
go
I
up to her.
suggest if you can't find someone in that house, go outside the steam room because someone is always fucking around there.
And how long did this take? How long did this montage of this makeover take? 45 minutes?
Yeah, she
You know what?
learned
They
lot
didn't
in
have a
45
script to
minutes.
learn, so why not? You
That's
know?
true.
She's never going to be able to sell another cinnamon bun. People are going to be like, I'm
No.
sorry, but aren't you too refined? Did you just write in a journal? Oh, you're too good for this job, ma'am.
I
You're
would
too
take a
good."
cinnamon croissant, but not a cinnamon bun.
So
The
they put
glass
her in a
ceiling.
cream.
Oh my God! Do I have some glass in this croissant, in the cinnamon bun? Because the glass ceiling has been shattered.
But you know what's also funny? So the makeover ends with her. They put her in like a cream dress. Like there, now you're in a cream dress and you know how to speak like a civilized human being, and you know how to wear makeup. Enjoy this cream dress. And then she goes.
You're
to
a
his office,
girl
but
now.
But now she's wearing like just a red strapless dress and her
The
hair is
red
done.
with a slit up.
It was a
Isn't it
pantsuit.
11 a.m.?
It was a
Where did
pantsuit,
they-
which I enjoyed.
Where did they get this? Is this
kinda
from one
liked
of the
it.
women's? Is this from one of the women's wardrobes? Because it doesn't look age appropriate for any of them.
Oh no, it looks very much like Cato or like a casual corner
I wish-
workwear.
I wish the Mandy Patinkin guy came in and just was like, "Here, this was my wife's. She would want you to have this."
pretty dance suit.
I liked it. It looked like something Jake would wear.
It was from Cult Gaia.
Jake, I feel like Jake has looked good in that before.
No, Jake would wear that.
I would wear that pantsuit. I do really well with things that are off the shoulder because of my creamy alabaster shoulders.
But let's not forget that. I guess did this happen all day long? So was he in his production office all day long in his
That's
underwear
what
waiting for him to show
I
up?
was- that's
because
what I
now
was
she's in an
unclear
evening
about.
look. I was like, is it? Because I was under the impression
He
it was
went
like
in there
11 a.m.
last night, and he never came out again. He is now the next day. He has been
He's on
up all night
Chatterbait.
in
He's
his
on
boxers,
Chatterbait or what?
and
or
now-
On Chatterbait.
He never left.
Jerking
he
off
never
with
left.
guys.
So now she looks beautiful.
He
And,
comes out with a
pretty.
deal
Does
for
she-
Nicolette Sheridan's
flip her
like
hair
new
to the
jewelry
side?
line.
Oh
So-
God.
So she comes out. So she comes to the production office finally in a makeover. And he's of course stammering, and he's like,
It's like, oh my
And
God,
he was-
she's so womanly now. What do I do? And she's like, sorry, too late. I'm going to have a conversation with the only other person on this show, the guy from the television.
Which
Bye.
we never heard from.
No, but he's not really on the show. He's just exposition for the audience. Too late. He's hotter than you, so I'm gonna go see him. Bye.
It does feel weird for the black male to be taking away
It's like the sexual,
heroin.
like
Yes.
the sexual threat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so Nella's like, so she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go. I have to speak with Tommy, because he's going to interview them. And he's from Hollywood Tonight. And he asked if we could grab a bite. And I was like, yes, that way we can talk freely. Talk freely. To coordinate an interview, be like, the interview's going to start at 8 p.m.
What do you need? What do you need? What do you need privacy that we need to be able to talk freely?
It's
like
an Entertainment
Russian
Tonight.
secrets?
Yeah, it's like an Entertainment Tonight interview about that you haven't, by the way, you haven't done anything to direct this film. Have we seen this girl do anything as a director?
No.
Literally nothing. She hasn't even called like go. I mean, she hasn't said, okay, we're going to rehearse. All she's done is like crash nuts and complain about a boy.
Yeah. She's got terrible gaydar, by the way, if she's dressing up like this for Scott Evans.
Thank you.
So then Alex is like, okay. So then Alex is like, so we know that this is a terrible thing to happen in their love story. An ornament falls off the tree out of nowhere. And he's like, that was our hero ornament. That was the exact match from the original show that the daughter gave to her.
Which we've never heard of before. Couldn't we have brought that up when she gives you a star in front of the tree and you could say, this looks good with our hero ornament?
But of course, he's just transferring his frustration onto the ornament because he realizes.
Because he's been edging in his office for all night. It's no nut November.
Nell, he's had all this time for Nell. Like he missed this chance with Nell, and now Nell is about to go out on a date with the gay anchor of an infotainment show, and he might lose her forever.
So
and he gives him an aggressive fist bump.
Yeah, so Alex is like, can we talk, please? It's important. It's about work. And she's like, going on a date with somebody that's not really a date. And he's like, but you, what do you do? What are you going on a date with him for? You can't mix business with pleasure. She's like, I'm a woman now, and I'm gonna make you jealous. And he's like, oh my God, it worked.
And then Tommy shows up in a Porsche, like, yeah, you thought I was just for exposition. Guess what? I'm a plot complication.
I'm a real person.
Where do they go? He says,
they go to Mr. Chow. We're going to go to Spago.
We're going to go to Nobu.
So now it's like the next day.
We're going to go to Stoop Plantation.
We're going to go
Dorsia.
We're going to go to Dublin's and Miyagi's. So now it's the next day, and there's going to be a press junket, okay? And they're talking, and this press junket's with Tommy, by the way. And they're all talking, and they're excited. They're talking about how they're excited to perform live and everything. And Nicolette Sheridan's like, oh, and by the way, what's exciting about this is that we get to see audience response as it happens in the chat rooms.
Oh my God.
And in case you want to be part of one of those chat rooms, be sure to update your username in the iCloud, and you'll have full access.
This is where I threw down my pad at this point. And a chat room?
So they start doing this thing. So they're decorating a Christmas tree and taking pictures, right? That's their photo shoot. And they start using like popcorn to decorate, which is hilarious, in a house in Malibu. They're like, you know what? We need some popcorn strings. So they do that. And then they have to still cast the houseboy, which, by the way, the show tapes in 5 minutes. And they're like, you know what we should do? A casting. So all these hot guys come in to do a casting. And wow, this show's going great. So now they're going to do a table read.
They ordered
by the way,
they had to order them off something.
I didn't think the casting, one guy was shirtless. They all should have been shirtless. And also, none of them were that hot.
Well, I mean, what budget can you expect? The director showed up in a cinnamon bun truck.
True.
Well, by the way, and let's not breeze past the part where after the press junket ends, and Tommy is like leaving them after they tell a very stirring story about how they all met during a snowstorm during a garbage strike in New York City. That then Tommy has to leave, before Tommy leaves, he like goes up to Nell and is like, I'll text you later, and good luck with the show tomorrow. He says this to Alex. He's like, good luck with the show tomorrow, buddy. Should be a good one. And then he like does like a fist bump on his thing, like, I'm gonna fuck her. I'm gonna fuck her behind your
girl, and I'm gonna take video of it and send it to you.
What the hell?
This is what I kept wanting to happen, and it should have. Why wasn't there a fight in the middle of the interview of the two women fighting and they land in the pool and fight?
Thank you.
That is what should have happened.
No.
Well, they had that in the fighting montage from the past where they showed them slapping each other. One knocked the other one into the pool, and there was a hot guy to.
That was very funny when Nicolette Sheridan was rescued, and she just went, "Oh,
yeah." Yes. By the way,
this is what they should have had.
Also, in the backstory of that they tell Tommy, the backstory when they're talking about how they first met, because they first met during a snowstorm, apparently Morgan Fairchild made them a British fruitcake. Because that brought them together. So that was the tie-in, just so everyone's wondering.
That was the piece that came back. The fruitcake.
Is a British fruitcake that different from an American fruitcake?
Girl, please.
It's more sophisticated.
Don't make
a drier sense of humor.
It has.
I'm not looking up fruitcakes because I'm about to. I've still got Linda Fiorentino open and I'm browsing.
Has Linda Fiorentino ever eaten fruitcake?
Don't you watch the Great British Bake Off, Ronnie? Aren't you into that? I've never watched it, but
I do. Yes.
Maybe it's got mincemeat in it.
We've covered it a couple seasons
I missed
or something.
this past season. Yeah,
but I don't watch them all the time because I really want to concentrate. Yeah, I love that show. I love all the backstories. It's like I play it. What was that when Benny's like, I live on the boardwalk with my daughter and I play tubas in her family band right by the window open to the boardwalk so everyone can hear us while I make chocolate chip cookies. What the fuck? And then they cut to him like playing a tuba in his apartment and his daughter like playing a violin. Like
this is true.
They're the nicest motherfuckers in the world who are on that show.
Yeah, they really
it's so good. So anyway,
but yet there's more drama on that show, I bet, than this movie.
Yes, you're right.
Sorry, continue.
So either way, Tommy is very menacing when he leaves, and then Alex is very threatened, and Nell is like, first of all, we're just friends.
Are you dating now?
It's like, I can date who I want to date, and he's like, but I'm your boss, and she goes, not in my life, and he goes, I didn't mean it that way. Well, what other way is it? You're her boss? I don't know. And she goes, well, what do you mean? He goes, I just mean that if we have to work, like maybe you should focus on the job and not on Tommy. The person who's give us publicity for our
the person
shitty live show that I haven't written.
10 minutes.
And then like a 13-year-old Nell said, you're the most confusing person on the planet. Ugh.
And then the ladies give her a thumbs up like, yeah, she's doing it right. She's pretty now. She doesn't have purple hair. And she just made him jealous. So she's like, I have approval.
That's a classic move is jealousy. That's always going to work.
So then she turns around and she's like, and maybe you should ask why you care so much.
It's more Debbie.
Anyway.
It's more Debbie, yeah.
Your voice is getting more and more hillbilly, like in the mountains.
It's talking a little bit like Southern, but it's a little bit, your dentures don't work.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. So now we're in rehearsal, and Morgan Fairchild falls down a staircase, but it's just a stunt double. And then this is just like silly stuff. The houseboy auditions happen now. The random muscle guy comes in. Honestly, I was not opposed. And everyone's just like getting ready. Like for the first time, they're actually acting like there's a show to do the next day. And
wait,
so now
where was it when Morgan says that good line? Where does she say? I love where she says, "Oh, when the guys come in for the casting," and Morgan looks at the camera and goes, "Wait for mommy," and it was disgusting. It was just foul.
She was like, "Want to try some traditional English fruitcake?"
Yeah, it's like she almost said, "My lips are wet." Like it was just so.
There's a lot of good new fruits for my fruitcake.
God bless. Morgan Fairchild deserves a muscle man in her life.
She does.
So
one of my friends was her assistant for a while. I need to ask her.
What?
Yeah, one of my friends.
We had a long time to drop that bomb.
I just thought about it. Yeah.
Steve Dorff.
By the way.
Steve Dorff, yeah.
Steve Dorff. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now they're having a rehearsal on the stairs. And Nicole's like, well, listen, as I was developing our product in underdeveloped countries. And, what is this scene? I've listened to these lines. Okay, I don't even remember.
I think they
this
got
happening.
really tired. They got really tired.
I think
like
me too,
us
because
at
I
the
don't
end of
even
the
know
show.
what
We're
this
just
note
all
is.
winding down. Yeah.
So Donna says, decorating the house together after such a great meal just feels great, doesn't it? And Nicolette goes, it does. as I was developing our production in our product line in underdeveloped countries, and Linda goes, thankfully, helping those less fortunate is part of our mission statement. And Lonnie's like, Mother, be careful. Oh, this is a rehearsal of the lines. They're all standing. Now I remember. They're all standing in a line up the stairs.
Yes.
Saying these lines like they're facing out to the audience. Mother, be careful up there because of your fear of heights. This is great. By the way, that girl who just spent all that time dating and getting pretty, this is her direction. I just want to show you. This is a Sundance affiliated director here who's like, stand in a line and say your lines to your mother up the stairs.
And she had no guidance at all.
Yeah.
None.
It was this is the guidance of a director who spent all her day doing a makeover instead.
That's
so
true.
Now they're all sitting around the table going over their lines, and Juliet is like, I missed you so much. We really should get together more than just the holidays. And then Alex is like, hold on, wait up, everything's fine. Why don't you ladies take a break? I don't really even know what's happening in this scene.
I don't either.
No.
Like, we don't need you. We don't need
it doesn't even make sense anymore.
They're like, I know what to do.
I'm so sorry. I got lost.
It's so obvious. We need a reconciliation scene.
So basically,
let's do it.
The issue is that the lines are not working. Okay, and Alex is feeling it's not working. The for some reason, this soap opera reunion, it's just not working. It just feels like they're reading their lines, but they're not really feeling their lines.
Or they could just act like they're being paid to do, like actors.
Nell's
they're not people.
Yeah, Nell's like, we need to make them realize that deep down they really care for each other because the audience totally wants them to get together. Meta, meta, meta.
Again, it doesn't matter if actors fucking hate each other. They just go to set and do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, you
But
know
he's
why
like, we
people
can make
want
it
to watch a
happen.
soap opera? To see people get along. That's what we need more of in this script.
Yeah, that's why they watch Housewives and 90 Day Fiance to see. Exactly.
So now, are we in bed yet? So let me see. Alex is like, I'm going to redo this. I'm going to redo this scene, okay? And I want them to make up in real life, too, because this is all acting. I'm like, these ladies are like literally getting along. I'm not really sure why they keep telling us they're all not getting along. They're like, that was such a great bonding moment. You too. Oh my God. You know what? We need more hugs. These ladies are not in love with each other.
You know what I think we need? I think we need a text montage where instead of actually letting the audience read the text, which is the whole point, we're going to speak the text all aloud as we're texting everyone.
Yes. So basically what happens is that Alex decides that he's going to write a scene to help foster a real life reconciliation between Nicolette Sheridan and Donna Mills. So now it's nighttime and everyone's reading the script and everyone starts to text and we see their text on screen. And I don't know if this was an in-joke or just sloppiness, but all their texts have their real actress names on them.
Yes.
Which I was like, did anyone fact check this? It said like Lonnie, Morgan, Linda.
That's funny.
Oh, the
That
text
was meta.
actually said that?
The
Yes,
text
they
said
did.
their names.
That is funny. So now they're...
They did this in 3 days. No art department. Wow.
Okay, so now now what are they doing? Now they're walking around in pajamas.
Right. Well, because they're talking about like the ladies are really just concerned about the youngins getting together.
Yeah,
they're
they're
like, I guess our
concerned
makeover was a little too successful. I think we need to go to plan B. Any ideas? Sounds like these kids could use some motherly guidance right now.
And so the TV episode isn't really that important anymore. It's about helping.
It's never been
kids.
important. It's about the young people who are already hot fucking whoever they want to be able to fuck. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Morgan, forget that money she needs for her dead husband stealing. She just needs them to smash.
They basically said, let's talk about you and Nell. And he says, I hurt her. Then my mom died.
Okay, so yeah, this is where we find out that the reason he ghosted her and left school is because his mom died, which is, a good reason.
I guess
but there's
you can't argue with it.
Yeah, you can't argue with it. But why not when he first saw her and she says, you ghosted me, why wouldn't you say, I know, I'm so sorry my mother passed away. It's not like it just happened. What? Who's ashamed of their mother passing away? It's the weirdest. This is a weird plot. I'm sorry.
There's
In
also
a movie of weird plots. This one's really weird.
This was really strange. It's only surpassed by the reveal at the end with Donna Mills about the husband. But
so then Alex basically says, well, he's telling the women because they're all now being like mother hens to him because
and there's like sad sitcom music all the way through this.
Right. And he's like, we still connect, but I think it's a little too late. I mean, did you see the way she was looking at Tommy? I was like, she talked to Tommy for 5 minutes.
But they do not like, he's a guy, so he doesn't know anything. He's like, what?
He doesn't know anything. I mean, it was weird how they
me?
even walked in when he was just laying in bed and they all walked in and sat on his, it was weird.
Oh, yeah. I think the incestuous vibes are too strong. I think this man is way too close to these women when he was raised.
But I did like this. So Morgan's like, you know what? Collectively, we've all had numerous lovers, boyfriends, and husbands. And then Lonnie goes, and I kissed a girl in college once. I'm an ally.
That was a good one. That was funny.
And she did it in a way that you didn't really laugh at, but you could laugh at her doing it.
She did it in a way where I believe that Lonnie Anderson has actually said.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Alex is like, well, I guess I'm going to get advice whether I want it or not. Let me have it, mummies. And so then we get a whoosh, and Nell is in bed with music on her, listening to music on her ears. Somehow she's got a listening device on her ears.
Her iCloud.
She hears something.
iCloud, yeah.
And she takes off her phonographs that are taped to the side of her
Let me
head.
put down my Napster for a moment.
My
she's
lime
like, well,
wire.
hold on, let me take this Betamax away from my ear. And then she hears them all partying downstairs.
12 Days of Christmas singing that.
Well, they're all singing it, but they're singing it on social media too because they have their phones out, because this show is like what I love about movies written a lot of times for Lifetime and Hallmark is that there's a lot of like, isn't social media crazy? As if social media hasn't been with us for 18 years.
Like we're still not used to it.
This is so weird that we have to be on social media.
So they're all singing 12 Days of Christmas, and then Nell does that thing that happens a lot of these movies where she stands in a door frame like a few feet away with her arms crossed and just laughs like, amazing. I think I'm falling in love with this guy.
And is he... And because he's looking, is he like drunk at this point? Because he's looking like he's having a good time for the first time. And
don't forget, he's very closed off. He only has 3 social media followers.
Also, he's got his mom back because apparently nobody knew that his mother died. Nobody in his life knows that his mother died.
Nobody knows, and these women are like his mothers.
Again.
Right. So he goes, "Oh my God. You're the best quasi-mothers a child actor could ever ask for." So, like, he's found his mom's again. So, like, oh, my God, this is great. She's like, I don't want to interrupt that. So then, it's later.
Big scene next.
This is
Big
huge.
Scene.
Linda.
This is the Secrets and Lies climax scene. Yeah.
We see Linda bent over, hunched over. And what is she doing? And she's like, I'm your mother, darling.
That's what I wanted from this. I wanted someone to say, like, we're actually sisters. You're actually my child.
Yeah, all of that.
That would have been so satisfying.
Needed that.
No,
instead
it's
of
just Linda
my mom died.
eating some. It's Linda's eating some
Slim
pretzels.
Jims.
That's the big. That's the big.
He
plot
left
here.
her. He ghosted her not because his mom died, but because he thought they were actually. He found out they were actually related, and then Morgan says, "No, you weren't related because I'm actually your mother, and your mother."
I thought that was going to happen.
Like, this is what we needed.
I actually thought that was going to happen.
And that's very soap opera. Like that's very and none of that happened. We get the worst reveals and the most boring
and
reveals.
it all happens in this scene. This is like the big reveal scene, right? When everything comes loose. So Linda is snacking and Lonnie Anderson walks in and catches her and like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And Linda's like, "Oh, I was just looking at this box. My name is on it." And Lonnie Anderson's like, "I know it is, bitch. those are my gifts to everyone. You were supposed to wait. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, you know what? You're like a little kid on Christmas morning. And is there something you want to tell me? What is it? What's going on?
I love snacking. I can't help it. I'm not really as healthy as I pretend.
I'm a fraud.
Is this
I'm
like
a
her
vegan
Tracy?
sticker, but I also eat pretzels. It's like, what? What is
Is
this?
it like we
Plot?
find out this is her Tracy Gold moment or something
Yes.
like that's what?
Who would have been great in this?
Did
And
anybody
she's like,
know, by the way, in this entire movie, that Linda's plot is that she is a health guru? I didn't get that. I mean, I knew that she was
it
like
was
a
hinted
vegan
at.
and
See the
stuff.
book?
It was hinted at about she wrote books. You had to read the title, and it was in a terrible font, so it was
Yeah.
difficult to read. But what she said the
I
whole
didn't know
time.
she was like a diet guru. I
Well,
thought
the whole
she was
but
like,
thing-
also, her
it's
issue-
Go ahead. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
No, I was going to say, like, her whole issue is she loves snacking or whatever. And then Lonnie is like, listen, you're just a normal human being who's just being way too hard on herself and honestly opening up her gifts before everyone else is here, which is kind of a bitchy thing to do.
It also makes it seem like that you can't eat healthy and actually eat pretzels.
I know. You
I
can
know
Which
snack
is-
pretzels
which
are
is
my low calorie
weird.
food. I literally buy pretzels and like count them out. Like that's my thing that I can eat that I feel like
the binaries that
guilt-free.
exist in this movie confuse the fuck out of me.
So- So Linda's like, you know how exhausting it is to live up to an image I created of myself, an image that I've only just revealed now in this movie, and everyone thinks I'm so damn good all the time, and I don't know how Gwyneth Paltrow does it.
That was.
I'm glad
funny.
they dropped.
They dropped the good reference,
G-Pal.
yeah.
And
So then Lonnie's like, oh, chasing an impossible ideal? I hear you. Is it not our flaws that make us beautiful? In fact, I've been toying with the idea of doing a completely new look. Would you like to see me take off my wig in a way that no woman naturally
Camera
takes
pans.
off her wig? She takes her
Camera
hand up and then puts
Yes.
fingertips on the top of her wig like she's doing a posture exercise.
and then it cuts away.
cuts away.
Because God forbid you see her actually do it. And then
when
we
it
see
cuts back,
the
she's
gray
like
wig under her wig.
No
Which
wonder
is
why that
totally
first
a
wig
Party
was so strange.
City wig.
She's like, I'm wearing my Emmylou Harris wig.
And just the fact that she goes, you know what, these ideals are impossible. You guys just had a 10-minute montage of changing the girl to be better for a man.
Yes.
How are you really going to lecture me right now about
And it was,
shit?
and they all said, "Oh my God, you're so brave."
You're so brave from removing one wig and replacing it with a different wig.
Well, and in fact, Nicolette, Nicolette comes in and she's like, "Oh my God, I see a gray hairline or whatever. You can be my spokesmodel.
You're going to be our new spokesmodel, our new campaign, because we're catering to older women now. Like,
And I'm
when's
like-
that ever happened?
And I'm like, she is already on Survivor. She doesn't need the work. Morgan fucking needs work. Make her your spokesmodel.
So then Donna Mills comes in and goes, Merry Christmas, everyone. They're like, Merry Christmas. She's like, no, I'm doing a cameo.
No, I'm
Sorry."
getting one cameo right now. so
That
it's
made
fine.
me laugh only because we've all had to do
Oh,
cameos at the
fuck
last minute.
cameo.
That's a
I know,
lot.
Cameo's in trouble, by the way.
Are
I
they?
don't know if you
Cameo's in
read.
trouble?
Oh, yeah. They're all, Cameo's in trouble.
And I had to explain cameo to my mother, and she was really confused. She's like, "Wait a minute, what? These people don't even know you. Why are they paying you to talk to them?"
Yeah,
And then she
I
said,
know.
"Well, if I paid you, would you call me more?"
Oh,
You're like, yes. So Lonnie's
I'm
like,
like,
hey,
yeah,
Donna,
$20.
you're just in time for gifts. And Donna's like, swag from the network. And Lonnie's like, no, snacks from me.
From me.
And she's like, so I found these fabulous chocolate-covered pretzels in Solvang when I was doing Celebrity Chef. And I thought, all you guys, because they're really sweet, but also a little bit salty. I'm like, the pretzels don't need a backstory, okay?
They don't need a bracket. No.
You don't need exposition
Don't
right
say,
now.
I got you pretzels.
We don't need this.
Pretzels.
I got a pretzel.
There was
We don't
so
even
much.
need to know that
there was
it's so
so
bad.
It doesn't make
much
sense that they're
fucking dialogue in this movie that went absolutely fucking nowhere.
I
So
am.
then Linda goes. So then Linda's like, "Oh my God, I ate everyone's pretzels. Sorry, guys. Well, guess what I learned? You made me realize that perfection isn't necessary. Moderation is. My next book is Mindful Moderation. Okay, your problem wasn't that you were eating too much. it was that you were not eating keto, right? What's the problem? Is it the carbs or the keto? Like,
and she ate everyone's presents? She ate everyone's presents. She's a monster.
So she's binge eating now. Yeah.
Tracy Gold.
Or Dana Plato.
But also there's a whole house full of food. Why are you eating the fucking pretzels that have people's names on them? Like, listen,
the director has a truck outside with cinnamon rolls.
And she goes, finally, we don't have to worry about what we eat.
So Juliet's like, okay, well, Linda's gone down a terrible path. So everyone, here's a cashmere scarf.
So everyone's like, weird. Wow. So Nicola, and by the way, Nicola did not even bring them cashmere scarves. She goes, look, everyone, I'm sending you one of these new things that we got online.
Why?
Who does that?
Why?
What kind of gift is that? What do they have to go fill out their own information and use their credit card just in case, just to verify their address?
But this is the best. Nicolette. This is the best one. This is the best one. Margot going, all right, everyone, here's my gifts, my jewelry. And she takes off all her jewelry and she's giving them, they're like, no, too much. She says, don't worry, it's not expensive. It's all costume jewelry. I'm like, so you're just
I've been wearing it for years.
Did you feel like
here's some used underwear.
Your jewelry put more effort into costuming than this entire production staff did on this movie.
Yes, and I feel like
some Cuban zirconia.
Take my jewels because I'm dying. Like that's not. I'm like, is it going to go there?
No, it's just like
she went.
Oh,
they're all fake. Sebastian embezzled from me.
Merry Christmas. I'm giving you my fake, worthless jewelry.
Because I realized, I don't really know what I realized, but goddamn, Linda can eat. Can I get it?
Goddamn, Linda can eat.
Hold on, I don't like to wear my costume jewelry before I eat snacks. Now let me open up. Oh, I see Linda was here.
And I gotta say, whenever she says, because Sebastian embezzled all of our money, everybody was supposed to have a reaction, and everybody looked kind of grieved, like, oh, except for the close up on Lonnie Anderson, and she acted like she just told her that she got a deal on Diet Coke at HEB, because Lonnie Anderson went, oh,
that's nice.
Oh.
She's like, so you are given earring, you are given necklace, you are given ear. Linda, take the earring out of your mouth. Jesus Christ.
Moderation. Okay, she's eating the Christmas tree. Can someone get some help here? So the women are like, is there anything we can do to help? And she's like, you already have. I've actually sold all your outfits on eBay. I just need you to sign the consent.
Yes.
You ladies have brought me through thick and thin and trying to stay thin, and now I don't have to pretend to keep up appearances anymore, and there's such relief in that. Just the same sort of relief I'm sure Linda has when she bites into a stranger's Entenmann's donut.
So then Donna's like, here's my gift to everybody. This Morgan Freeman impression that I'm doing. So she's like,
get busy living or get busy taking my jewelry.
So she's like, here's my gift to everybody. Honesty. I really fucked Nicolette Sheridan's fiance back in the day.
That's the reveal.
Yes. I know you think
your husband.
And by the way, what a bitch this woman is, because she goes, I know you think I gave up our friendship for my career, but the truth is I gave up my career for our friendship because I fucked your fiance.
What does that even mean? What does that mean?
I left the show. It was because I fucked your fiance, and I felt so awkward about it. I actually I quit the show, and that's why. And then she's like,
forgives that bitch, and I wrote, don't forgive that bitch. Don't
immediately
do that.
too. She's like, oh well, thank God you didn't tell me, because then I wouldn't have married Joe and have kids. Anyway, he sucked. He cheated on me all the time.
I wouldn't have had my soulmate, my twink in the suit back in New York, who's kind of a shitty person.
But that solidifies, if a mother calls her son a soulmate, that is her gay son.
Yes. Yeah,
because my mother calls me that. I know that.
That's concerning.
And then Juliet's like, oh, it's fine. I never would have married Joe. And I was blind to all his faults and his affairs. And there were so many of them. And that's why we got a divorce. I know we're about 4/5 of the way through this movie, but I thought it'd be a great time to add just a little bit more exposition in here. So then they all hug. And then then Linda goes, oh, wait a minute. I think I slept with Joe also.
Which And then she's like, just kidding. And I went, no. If she had said that and then they all fucked the guy, it would have been great.
If they would have all fucked, if she should, that just kidding was the nail in the coffin for me. That meant the movie never took itself seriously. Yeah.
And Nicholas, that was hilarious, Linda. Okay, let's cheers by clinking pretzels. Oh, Linda. Never mind, everybody.
Okay, well,
we're
actresses and we can pretend that we're clinking pretzels.
Let's all pretend Linda didn't just eat all our pretzels.
And then the movie is still not over. Because we have to now.
Kind of like this podcast. It just keeps going.
I just swiped down on my notes and I in my head I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
No, the movie's not over yet.
Well, because now it's time to go live. They've resolved their issues. Because, by the way, you know what's the best time to resolve all the issues with the characters? It's right before the climax.
Yes.
So, because why do that at the climax or even in the denouement?
No.
Like, let's just do it beforehand. So, they were all sitting around. Now they're in character because the live special is happening, and they're having this nice conversation around like the Christmas table. And it's like, you have created a wonderful holiday, mother. It's like, you've done such amazing things. You're running your company and making all this beautiful food. You've really outdone yourself, mummy. And this is the whole conversation. And while this is like going on and on,
that
like
chat
Nell,
room.
They're looking at the chat room. And
we have frowny
faces.
Frowny faces.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they go. So I'm sorry, I'm reading these notes because they're so wacko at this point. So Nicolette goes. Morgan says, "Well, listen, I decided to spend less time in the office and more time traveling the world, girls. I'm giving you the company. I'm stepping down as CEO, so this company is going to 4 of you." And Nicolette's like, "But there's only 3 of us." And they say, "Who's the 4th?" And she goes, "It's your long lost sister who I had cloned and gave up for adoption. I was going to tell you about it on our vacation in the Maldives, but that was before we were kidnapped by the evil clan of cannibals." Okay, ha ha ha. So Linda hasn't been on this show before? They don't know that Linda is their secret
so confusing.
Are you fucking kidding? She just said she fucked a guy from the... I mean, what are you talking about?
I thought that we were going to get a cameo. Did anyone else think like Eileen Davidson was going to walk in?
Oh my God, I would have died.
Linda is a character on the old show. How are you making it that you just cast Linda in this reboot?
And also, by the way, Linda was kidnapped by cannibals, but not eaten. Is
that what happened?
That's what cannibals do.
But I'm furious about something. Did I get it
ironically,
wrong?
Morgan Fairchild did. I read
it was very unclear.
She was kidnapped twice in the 70s.
So is
Morgan
their
Fairchild?
long lost daughter?
Yeah, she was kidnapped. Yeah.
Who was Morgan Fairchild? Was kidnapped by cannibals?
When I was reading where she was from, if she was British, the Wikipedia said she claimed she was kidnapped twice in the 70s.
But it was the power of traditional English fruitcake that saved her.
It saved her.
To be fair, she was dressed like a pretzel, and Linda was passing by.
So they go cut. So the scene's over, cut, and then they're like a commercial on this.
We got frowny faces
special.
Everywhere. Frowny faces.
Oh, the chat room.
The chat room.
Oh God, from everywhere from AOL to Earthling, they don't like us.
To gay.com.
It's about to be called America Offline. Am I right, girls?
So Nell and Alex are distraught, and then at the table, Morgan Fairchild's watching, and she goes, "Ladies, we're bombing. I know this because I learned how to read lips when I replaced Anne Bancroft on Broadway in The Miracle Worker."
That made me laugh. That was a pretty fucking good line.
I was not expecting an Anne Bancroft reference.
I screamed Michelle Lee, Anne Bancroft. They're all...
You could see the bones of something in here.
Yeah.
That was destroyed by someone.
That's what I'm telling you. I think that this was funny, and then they killed it.
Network. The network neutered it, like you said, Ron.
I agree.
Yeah,
because it seems like there's funny things that they
which is funny because
erased.
The Golden Girls airs continuously on Lifetime.
Yes.
Maybe it's Hallmark now, but it's all the same.
Well, either way, Morgan's she's like, you know what? The people, they don't want a love fest. They want a bitch fest. I'm glad that the movie realized this about its characters, but didn't realize it about
give it to
in the last 10 minutes.
In the actual movie itself.
They figured it out at the end too, and unfortunately, they had already shot the whole thing. So they decide that bitchiness means putting pies in each other's face, because then the rest of this is just them going, "I hate you, bitch," and then they put pies in each other's face.
So they go off script and start pouring gravy on each other's wigs.
So in any world, this would just be improvising and going off script. You'd never get hired again.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're doing such a great job, you know? But they're going to win over everyone.
But I don't think
how they couldn't eat anything because they were shellacked because they were props, but now they've just got plenty of whipped cream pies sitting around to hit each other with.
But also, like, this is not bitchy. Like, well, bitchy, we want people to be like, oh, yeah, what about your 4 abortions? Like, that, you know, that's what you want to hear.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
Generally speaking.
It's just, it was definitely...
Ben's just bringing our previous fights into this.
What about your 4 abortions? At least I never had 4 abortions, Ronnie.
At least
that was actually from Shots of Sunset.
Oh.
At least I haven't had 10 abortions like you.
I will say, the argument ends there when you call out abortions.
I think so. Yeah, I think you've officially won in the most losingest of ways.
Yeah.
So then they start basically being snarky and mean to each other, and then it's just like a pie. Teeth. Yeah, it's sort of like the actresses are all actually kind of reading the lines too slowly. Like it has a cheap aftertaste.
It is
just like you, and they pick up the pie slowly, and it's just like,
again,
we watch Real Housewives. We know how quick this stuff has to come,
and they know it's coming. They know that they're going to be a pie in their face, and they always seem surprised when the pie is coming at their face 3 inches away, and they're like, "Oh, how could this have happened?"
Again, I think they thought this was going to be in slow motion, so they all were trying to do it in slow motion.
So then all of a sudden, the instant reaction in the chat rooms is the smile's coming faster than the dial-up can provide. Okay, and Nell and Alex high five. This is a success, and even though I would say it's a Christmas miracle, except it's not snowing and nothing Christmassy is happening.
Nothing Christmassy about it.
Or miracle.
We've abandoned Christmas completely.
And then afterwards they're cleaned up, and Linda just says a line I've never heard before, how original, of saying, they liked us. They really, really liked us.
So
now it's time to gather for goodbyes, right? So Lonnie's like, well, guys, it won't be long until we gather in the Virgin Island for our girls' trip, which we're going to take in the Virgin Islands together because we're friends now. I have gray hair.
Yeah, for
which we
our
talked
Valentine's
about
Day
during a
girls
break.
Trip.
Yeah,
but it's also for their foundation, y'all. Don't forget about the foundation.
Diva Foundation.
The Diva Foundation. Yes.
Which has the most obscure tax avoidant mission statement I've ever heard of.
Yeah, it's focusing on underserved women of a certain age who could use a little help from women who know what it's like.
And that's it.
What does that mean? Are they sober? What do you mean they're underserved? How old are they?
For women who know what it's like.
As
Morgan Fairchild. Honestly, I would 100% donate to this charity if it were me. I was like, man, I'm going through a tough time. Well, don't worry, Morgan Fairchild is here to help you. I'm like, actually, this is a great organization. It does
feel like the human fund from Seinfeld.
A day, you can adopt your own Morgan Fairchild.
So they take a big photo together for social media. Alex takes a photo of them and like, Merry Christmas. And he's like, okay, I got it. I got the photo. And they're like, now go get her.
Go get her.
That
Nell's
lady combed her hair for you. Wedding bells are dinging. Get over there, stud.
You would think they would add at least some sort of like urgency to this. Like she just got hired to do something for Sundance. And so she has to leave town.
Right.
So, like, if he doesn't say this now, that's it.
She has nothing to do.
She's literally just going through the couch trying to find change to put gas in the fucking cinnamon bun truck.
exactly.
Go back to her truck and sleep there.
Her uncle is like, where's my truck? I have a business.
Yeah.
So she's packing up, and he's like, hey, this is, so she has the Christmas topper, and she's like, this is for you. It's a keepsake. And she's like, thanks for the gig, Alex. Like, maybe we'll do this again in another 5 years.
Yeah.
That was my passive aggressive way of being like, thanks for not calling me.
Thanks for not talking to me for 5 years.
And he's like, hold on, I want to show you something that I managed to do in the past 2 minutes.
Okay.
And
when was this done?
It wasn't.
There's been no time.
Maybe maybe they should have shown the divas doing it. Like, this would have been a thing for the divas.
That
to put all
would
their
have been
powers
okay.
together, you know?
But when was the time where he saw her? When was the time where he saw her like, oh, I should
I think the live show ended 10 minutes ago. I think that's the time frame we're looking at.
So then he goes up to her and they go outside and the pool is candlelit and there's lanterns everywhere and it's romantic. And she's like, oh my God, Alex. And he's like, that kiss 5 years ago, 3 months and 6 days, our kiss, it was epic. Romeo and Juliet epic. The kind of kiss that makes you want to pretend to commit suicide so the other person commits suicide and then you really commit suicide.
And then you mistakenly kill yourself and then you have to kill yourself anyway.
This is like such a weird turn of phrase. He goes,
yes.
When I left, I didn't ghost you because I didn't like you. I left because my mom actually ghosted me.
I left because my mom died.
We not use the terminology ghosted when we're talking about our dead.
When she died,
family
part
members.
of me died.
That's going to live in my head, kind of like, what's that line, Jake? You always say, Magda just exposed her nipples to the Jordigans.
Magda just exposed her nipples to the Jordigans, and I'm still trying to give a positive feedback. Aisha.
Why? Listen, if you're trying to win over the girl, don't be like, sorry, my mom died. And when she died, part of me died too. What I'm trying to say is, I'm consumed with grief. Will you kiss me?
And they kiss, and then we hear da na 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 na. Hey, I'm Scott Evans. I didn't fuck anybody, man. I'm gonna wrap up this movie without the actual characters in the movie. I'm gonna be the last thing you hear in the movie, and I'm a lower level character.
This was so weird.
Yes.
This was to me the most disorienting thing.
And do you think that they filmed his things before his little scenes before they finished the movie? Because this is what was confusing in the beginning when they said this show has been canceled, and I was saying we were all saying when was it canceled? 5 minutes ago or 10 years ago? It's because how they phrase it. He goes, guys, he's like, America, the network is not only reversing its decision to cancel the show, it's going to stream it live now. You don't call a show canceled that was on 20 years ago. You know
it's not. I mean?
Guys, canceled
forgotten.
Show, Friends. Since it's a show that used to be on, you don't uncancel the show. You reboot the show. It's weird.
Yeah, they didn't even say reboot. And it's going to be the first reality soap opera.
Do you think Lifetime felt like they felt like boomers wouldn't know what reboot means?
Perhaps.
Watching this, maybe?
I think that I think in the beginning it was this was like the season finale of the show or something. They did this show and then they were going to do this as one last hurrah before they canceled the show. It was supposed to be the
series finale, yeah.
Right, but then
that's
they changed it to be it hasn't, listen, it couldn't have been recent because we'll make this kid the child who starred in this show. Okay, that makes more sense. It's like they're just making it up as they go along, and nothing really
this is
came together.
Airing Christmas Day, and so many people watched a show that aired on Christmas Day.
Especially a soap opera from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, gather the whole family around. Let's all watch Lonnie Anderson on a live...
I know. And then there's this very important part where he goes, we are so happy for them, especially for Lily Marlowe, who is a shoo-in to nab a well-deserved daytime Emmy for her brave, gray-haired performance. I can't think of a better way to start
Close
the
that
year,
arc. Close that
but it's not
character
closed
arc.
because we don't even know if she's nominated and or if she actually won. We just know there might be a chance she closes the arc.
Her gray-haired turn pouring gravy on Morgan Fairchild's
How
head.
brave.
I mean, I don't understand how that's not getting an Emmy. A daytime Emmy, no less.
I don't know how, if there were Emmys for podcasts, how we wouldn't have gotten an Emmy for covering this for 4 hours.
Listen, there was a lot of ground to cover. An hour for every diva. Well, I guess also.
No, there's 5.
There's 5, but 4 that were originally going to be in it.
Or they originally,
for the feud, or after the feud.
Yeah. Well, that was something. We're like, wow, I can't believe this terrible thing. We're like, let's talk about it for 97 hours.
This was the worst one we've done yet.
This is the worst.
Okay, that makes me feel better because I texted Jake when I finished the movie, and I said, "This is terrible."
I kind of liked it, but I thought about it as just from what it was trying to do because I despised Holiday.
Holiday was terrible.
Yeah, but this was on a different level because it was just completely
Holiday
illogical.
looked like a movie. It looked like a real movie.
Right.
Yeah. And it had Frances Fisher. And then this one is just like, it was just barely concerned with Christmas. Like there was no...
Right.
Like they literally did not even make it snow when they kissed outside with the lanterns. Be like, oh my God, it's snowing in LA. Like they didn't even just do any of the stupid, cheesy things.
Yeah. The goals were very meager.
Did fake snow and showed the interns again, or whoever was. It opened with them blowing fake snow. So why didn't they show them in the fake snow?
Yes.
Something. But I guess this was. I think you're right that this was a COVID thing, and they probably there was literally nobody on the set except the ladies. Probably, I really do think this was mostly shot on iPhones, and we just got. We got what we got. But at the end of the day, it was really good seeing all these ladies. And as much as we talked all of them, I mean, that's pretty cool to see all those ladies. And by the end, I thought they were doing all great.
I actually want to say, except for Lonnie Anderson and her not great moments, what these women did with this dialogue, I thought was pretty great.
Morgan Fairchild and Donna Mills killed it.
Yeah, I think
Linda
so too.
Gray.
And actually,
Linda
Lonnie
Gray
killed it for Lonnie. I mean, that's always how Lonnie Anderson has been. She was like that literally in every show she ever did. They should have made her more of like an airhead though, because that was always her character, right? She was just like a bombshell airhead.
Yeah, and just in general, it would have been great if the women had any sort of personalities that were different from each other.
Yeah.
But y'all,
a vamp,
the director was terrible. That actress should never work again. Wow. She was absolutely awful.
It was not. It was. I still am mad about the cinnamon, the cinnamon roll truck. I don't understand why that was there. Why are you putting this element in here that we never see again for the rest of the movie?
No.
But it was like many other elements. So. But I'm so glad that we got to do this again.
I'm so glad fun. We got to spend together,
you guys.
These are kind of like the men I think I have relationships with. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth at the end, but then in a year I forget about it and do it all over again.
Exactly.
A lot of our listeners say, "This is my holiday. This is my Super Bowl."
This is
definitely like
my Roman Empire.
Anybody I've dated where I literally write down things that I need to pretend never happened. Okay, so lots of time codes in here to go strike the record.
Lots to cut.
Strike that and strike that. Thank you everyone for listening. Of course, be sure to follow. Thank y'all. Be sure to follow everyone on social media, much like Donna Mills's character.
Social media account. Social media website. Did you notice that one time she would say my social media website? I went, it's not a website, honey.
So we're at Watch What Crappens. You guys are at Reality Gaze on
podcast.
At Reality Gaze
podcast on Instagram, etc. We are actually at What Crappens on Twitter. But everywhere else we're at Watch What Crappens.
We are Reality Gaze Pod on Twitter, and on the TikTok, we are Reality Gaze.
Wonderful. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll catch you.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Love y'all. Bye.